Shepherds. We're here again with Tina and continuing our series of training Tina. And so we left off a little while ago. It's been a while, and the thing is I've been busy, and so I haven't had time really. But that being said, just a few things there. The tools of the trade, we do use a pinch collar because of its effectiveness, and also it's a very humane tool. If you look at it, it looks medieval, but it is totally humane. Just pinches the dog evenly around the scruff as opposed to a choke collar. A harness, well, a harness device is of course safe, but it's not really effective because what you have to do, or let me say it's not as effective, you have to get the dog's attention at times, and they really do give you their attention over the pinch collar. Just give a little tug on it and they will respond to that. Excuse me. And so invariably you want the dog to do what you want it to do and not what it wants to do necessarily, certainly not in the beginning. And so any means there that's humane and effective is, to me, what we're talking about. And so that's number one. Number two, I like to just say again, as a reminder and a little guideline there, when you train a dog, you want to start initially in the home with zero or very minimal distractions. And then when you get that down to a good pattern, take the dog outside your yard where it's a little more familiar. But there are distractions, whatever squirrels or things that may be running around in your particular area, other people, kids, you name it. Once you establish a routine of training inside, that should follow you outside, right? And so there will be some work to be done to bring the dog to give you its attention again with those added distractions. However, the main work takes place inside with minimal distractions. Then, really, number three is you want to take the dog to public places, right? To the store, maybe the Home Depot or Lowe's, or we go to Tractor Supply. Many places, the pet store, of course, allow your pets in if they're leashed, and they have to be well behaved. So this is the thing with the training. You want your dog well behaved. You want to be able to take it anywhere that you want to take it. And so it all starts with the most basic of training, where the dog is required to give you its attention and to do what you say, right? So with the Training Tina series we've been doing, you may remember too that Tina had very little by way of training. I got her, she was 15 months old. I'm busy. I admit it, I didn't have time or take the time to do any real training with Tina. And so when you go to train a dog like that, where they're just used to their play and run and fun and all that, well, kind of just like people, they're not going to have that discipline. And so it's going to take a little bit longer to bring them along to where you want them to be. She's very well behaved, but she's not trained. So when it's me and her, she might be going here and there and giving her attention to the other dogs or other things that are going on. Once now, when I put a leash on her and I'm letting her know that it's me and her and things are going to be done a certain way, well, then you're in training mode, right? And the dog's in training mode. So it's very simple. I do like the basics because they're so necessary, and so I go over those things there. And so let's just try here. I did take a little time before this video, and Tina was reluctant to sit a little bit initially, but then she did sit, and then I walked her around a little bit more. And you see where she's even a little shy. She's not shy at all, believe me, but she is being shy because I have the leash on her and all, right? And so even though she has nothing at all to be afraid of, she just knows that she doesn't have the ability maybe to go here and there like she's quite accustomed to doing. She's very brazen. She's something of a scooch with my dog. She's a little pest with them at times, and she really gets into trouble with them because she's so she's just so rambunctious and all, and they really let her know that they're bigger than her, kind of, and so she's not at all a timid dog, but the whole dynamic of put a leash on her anyway with her personality is an interesting thing there. So she's quite mindful of it, and she gets a little, here Tina, yeah, good. A little shy. So who knows what she thinks too. I'm standing here talking to the camera, which she has no idea about any of that, right? So I think that's another thing. But anyway, back to the thing where I had done a few, just back and forth and give her a treat and have her sit. Initially she didn't sit, then she did sit a few times in a row, and then she didn't sit again, and then I walked her a little more, and she did sit. So she has other things on her mind, and this is the whole thing with training. You have to get the dog to pay attention to what you want it to do. So let's say here with Tina, she is a great dog, and she did run right to the collar and the leash, and so whatever all of the her thinking is there, what's going on, it's not the norm, and that's the thing. And I would say too, if I could, not to drag it out, but hopefully it's helpful to you. You can train like they have highly trained dogs. I have highly trained dogs, and they get rusty just like people if they're not working out or they're not doing their routine, or like the maybe a baseball team, they got to do their warm-ups, they got to do all that. And so with training, a dog can be highly trained, and then 5, 6, 12 months, if you don't really do anything training-wise, they definitely get rusty, and so you have to kind of bring them back to that. So don't be under the misconception that once you train a dog, it's going to react perfectly every time. No, if you don't do it continually, then they kind of get rusty, and you have to bring them back into that whole mindset of training, right? And so that's not a bad thing, that's okay, but I'm just saying it to say don't be surprised, right? And the main thing of the training is that your dog will pay attention to you. Say you're outside, you may have to call it once or twice, but it's going to come when you call it. And so 95% of that really is accomplished with a treat, because the dog always has that in its mind, that you have a treat for it, and it's a good idea to have treats for it in the training stage. So no matter what's going on around it that may be enticing it to run off in that direction, you have the treat, and the dog will always remember that. So this is just a couple of things here. So let's just see how Tina does. You can get a sight right on it. Come on, Tina, heel. She's very good with the heel. Come, Tina, heel. Heel. Good girl, good girl. Good girl. Yeah, we'll get it. You see how she'll relax after a minute or two. Good girl, Tina. I'm thinking she has no idea I'm sitting here talking, and she has no clue what's going on there. So let's be quiet a minute. I'll walk back and forth with her a few times. Good girl, Tina. Good girl. Good girl. You're smart. Good girl. Normally she would take the treat real quick. So she's distracted with just the overall what we're doing here, and me talking and her not being required to do anything, to sit there. That is not Tina. Victor, he'd be happy to sit there, but not Tina. And so let's just see if she relaxes a little. See, she's very good on the heel. And I said building it up to different situations there. Here in the kennel, I could let one of the dogs out, which I do, and get her to still pay attention to me during that. And then maybe two of the dogs, although one would accomplish that where I let her know she's going to be paying attention to me, even though there's a major distraction of one of the other dogs. And then take her outside. That's a big one, just out in the yard with everything going on. Over here, certainly, in my yard, there's all sorts of animals running around. And then, like I said, up to the stores. And that's usually not a problem at all by that time. Maybe you take them to the store on day one, right? It's a puppy. but not pulling and tugging and waiting again for your approval for them to do something. Come, Tina, good girl. And they do very much like I was saying, my trained dogs, they love when they get the leash out. They get very excited. They love to go for a walk just up the block. If they're going to a store, well then that's, they love the car and going to the store. Good girl, Tina. Good girl. Come on. You're doing so good. So here, you know, she's very good on the heel, right? She's following me real good. She's not herself. She's definitely being a little reserved there. And that is just going to take time. So what I'm going to do is this upcoming week, I'm going to take that time. Again, I get very busy. I'm going to take that time and I'll bring another video next Saturday. And you'll see a big difference with Tina just being used to it and not being uncomfortable as she is, because she just, honestly, she has no idea what's going on. And so she's kind of out of her element. So she's being a little shy and reserved, and that's normal. It's contrary to her personality, where she's so rambunctious, and like I said with my other dog, she is all over them. She does not stop. I have to really, good girl, Tina, sit. Good girl, sit. Good girl. Yeah, she's clinging to my leg again. I'm sure as I think about it, am I talking? Well, she's sitting here is certainly, she knows I'm not paying full attention to her. And so, whatever that means to her, I don't know, but I can tell that she's affected by it. So, anyway, she can really be something with the other dogs and incessantly just jumping on them, biting the back of their neck and running away, and then they'll chase her down, and then they'll let her up, and she'll do the same thing again, right? With any one of them, Victor, it doesn't matter. Do it with Queenie, and she kind of gets them into the whole total no rest with her around with the other dogs. And she's very energetic, right? She doesn't have a mean bone in her body. She's just total play. She's not vicious at all. And so I'm going to this week work with her a bunch, and Saturday I'll do another video next Saturday, and I'm sure it will be a lot different. She'll be very accustomed to me working with her right on the leash each day. Come on, Tina. I'll do another one or two back and forth, and then we'll conclude the video of training Tina. And so, yeah, hopefully it's coming through to you. The exact thing that I'm saying is that it takes time, and a few sessions, 3, 4, 5 sessions a day, and then the dog is accustomed to that. And we're in a setting, of course, that she's very familiar. So there's no real, she's not afraid, she's just, she's kind of reluctant. I guess she doesn't know really what's going on or what's next or whatever, right? So she's being required to cap her drive. You know, we say in training that you have to cap the drive, you have to put a limit on it, and she's used to 0 limit. And so I'm going to work on that this week, and then we'll come back next week with another video, and we'll see how Tina's doing, and you compare the two, and you'll see. And so hope that is helpful to you. Again, this is George with Watchman German Shepherds at watchmangsd.com. Thank you for subscribing, sharing, liking. If you have any comments, anything about training, any questions about breeding, any questions about puppies or behavior and those types of things. I'm going to be doing a series very shortly on feeding your German Shepherd, but your dog in general. I'm going to do an informational video on the different types of feeds and all that there are. So any of those things, if you have a question, some medical stuff, I'm not a vet, of course, at all, but I do attend to some of the health matters, from grooming to worming to giving vaccinations there, everything except for the rabies vaccination. And so If you have any questions about any of those things, and if I can help you, of course, as everybody says, consult with your veterinarian. If you have any questions, or certainly any emergency situation, don't come to me. I just have a little informational stuff that may be helpful and not harmful. And so, anyway, with that said, we'll see you next time. The Lord bless your day, and thanks so much